Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Smart Money. Now today on the show we will discuss how to invest in a rising rate environment. As we know, inflation is increasing globally. In fact, last month the inflation in the US was the highest in the last 30 years. Not just that, the bond buying program is expected to be reduced. Hence, that may lead to a rise in rates globally and a rise in the dollar. Now, theoretically, that is negative for the equity markets. So, how do you approach it in 2022? Joining us on the show today, we have Keertan Shah, the founder and CEO of Credence Wealth Advisors. Keertan, thank you so much for being with us on Smart Money. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, if you just want to start by telling us what has happened over the last 21 months globally and, what is the setup that we're in right now?
Sonia, thank you so much for having me on the show. So Sonia, typically all of us know that when there is an economic crisis like it happened in 2008 or what happened 2 years back, the easiest way that the central government or the central bank really has to, kind of stabilize the economy is to reduce interest rates and infuse the market with a lot of liquidity. And nothing new happened this time around. But the only change was that the kind of liquidity that we saw coming in 2008 during the Lehman Brothers crisis, this time around the liquidity that was poured in was 4 to 5 times more than it was in 2008. So there was a huge amount of liquidity that was infused in the market and would end up chasing assets. Now the bigger problem here was that along with the liquidity that was infused, rates were also brought down to zero. So now there is so much of liquidity in the market, rates are close to zero, there is hardly any fixed income kind of investment opportunity available. So this money ended up chasing gold and equity, which is why we saw what happened to gold and equity over the last 20 odd months.
Absolutely.
Now, also, while so much of money was printed, so much of liquidity was made available, typically you would see dollar falling. And that's exactly what happened, is because whenever there is so much of liquidity in the dollar currency available, dollar would typically fall. And this is a very sweet spot because of which a lot of money flew into the emerging markets, right? So what typically we saw over the last 21 months was a lot of liquidity made available in the market. Rates were very close to zero, and hence fixed income was not a good opportunity to invest in globally, right? Which is why a lot of this money started flowing towards gold and equity.
Okay.
A lot of this money came to emerging markets because dollar fell, and that's a good investment opportunity for foreigners to invest in emerging markets, and which is why we saw what we saw: equity go up, gold go up, and rates fall.
Sure. So Keertan, that was what happened up until now, right? But now things are changing a bit, as we know. Inflation is a big concern. The dollar is rising. Do you think that this is the time to get a bit risk averse? And if you can just, first sort of set the background for us, what exactly is happening now on the rates front and how does one approach it?
So Sonia, what typically happens is when you fill the market with so much of liquidity, and thanks to COVID, there were a lot of supply side constraint also. Both of these things put together would lead to higher inflation. Now, so far what was happening is global economies or global central banks were not willing to accept that this inflation was about to stay. Everybody was making a comment that this is more transitory in nature. But what we've seen, and taking a cue from what you also mentioned at the start of the show, what's happening is that inflation globally is on the rise. Like you rightly mentioned, in the US also what happened is the inflation CPI number that came out were the highest rise over the last 30 years. Even in the Eurozone, if you look at it, before we moved into pandemic, the CPI there was 1.4, and now the CPI in the Eurozone is 4.1. And similar is the case in India as well, where the CPI is increasing. So what is happening is now globally, even the central banks have started accepting that this inflation that they initially thought was very transitory in nature is about to stay here. And hence you've seen, not just in India, but globally, central banks taking a step. To quote a couple of them, what has happened is in the US, we saw in the last Fed meeting where Fed came out and said that, inflation now is going to slowly become an agenda that they are going to look at. And they started, reducing the bond buying program that they were in. So they've already reduced the bond buying program by $15 billion every month. And if I'm not wrong, reading the latest commentary, I would like to believe that probably this bond buying program is going to slow down even quicker. right? So even the new virus that came in, because of which there is anticipation that probably the increase in the rate scenario will get pushed back a little more, but you don't read that from the Fed commentary.
Sure.
Also in
So,
India, if you
Ketan,
look at it very closely, RBI in the last monetary policy did mention that they've stopped Operation Twist. They've also stopped the GSEP program. And they've also started conducting the 7-day, 14-day, 20-day, 28-day, variable reverse repo.
So, Kirtan,
All
let
of these
me
things are
interrupt you here, because I mean, we do know that in the past, whenever there was an increasing yield situation, equity markets have not really reacted that well. This time around, what is your expectation, and how does an average investor, I mean, someone who's watching you right now, how does he read into it? What should the biggest takeaway be?
So, Sonia, I think, in my opinion, what we really have to understand is theoretically increase in rates or increase in yields are negative for the markets, right? Multiple reasons why that would happen is because if yields go up, a lot of money gets attracted towards fixed income. When yields start going up or global economies are doing well, dollar would do well, and hence FII's inflows in emerging markets may not be a very prominent case. And also consumption takes a hit and capex takes a hit when you typically have interest rates going up. And which is why theoretically rates going up may not be a very good sign for equities market. But what historical data point Sonia shows us is that rising rates or rising yields may not necessarily always be a problem, right? So if you look at April 2004 to July 2008, when yields went up from 5.12 to 9.33, you still saw markets giving you a 23% CAGR. Similar thing happened in December of 2008 to October of 11, where yields went up from 5.3 to 8.85. You still saw 21% rise. And similar case you saw in November 16 to September 18. But the difference is that in these three cases, when the yields were going up and the markets were also going up, the reason why this happened is that with increase in yield, it did not really end up impacting the earning yields for the Nifty 50 companies largely. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, theoretically, when yields go up, it is negative for the equities market, but it is largely a negative sign if with yields going up, earnings takes a hit. But if with yields going up, earnings don't take a hit largely, then the three examples that we saw, equity markets don't react negatively. So I think what is more important, Sonia, is for all of us to keep an eye on whether or not with increasing yields, will earning really take a hit? If earning ends up taking a hit, then we probably might see equity markets reacting negatively. Otherwise, historically, like we've seen, if earnings are not taking a hit in a rising interest rate situation, I think that the equity market reaction to rising in yields is going to be very temporary in nature, and probably with a 3 or 5 year, it may not create a larger impact on it.
Okay, so if this is the situation now, just try to explain to us how does one really approach equities and why has the above happened? I mean, in the sense, history teaches us that there could be two outcomes, right? Equity markets could do very well, as you rightly pointed out, or after a very good year, equity markets could peter off. But how do investors approach in this rising yield scenario?
So I think, look, Sonia, in my opinion, if you look, I'm not an analyst, but if you look at the Bloomberg analyst poll, right, there is a decent 14-15% rise in EPS that is getting discounted for in the market. Today, if you look at the price to earnings, of course, leaving aside the last 2-3 weeks downfall, we are still very conveniently and easily pricing in a 2023 earnings at the Nifty level. So in my opinion, if at all in a rising interest rate situation, if there are going to be some disappointments on the earnings front, probably this is not going to be a very good sight in the near term for retail investors. So my first suggestion to retail at this point in time while we are trying to invest is don't come into equities with anything less than a 3 or 5 year view, is because what you've seen over the last 24 odd months is probably very difficult in sight over the next 2 years. So if equity as an investment or an asset class has to be looked at this point in time, should definitely be looked at from a 3-year, 5-year perspective. Now, what can really work out for equities, in my opinion, probably 2-3 larger themes. Look, of course, interest rates are expected to go up, Sonia, but if you look at pre-pandemic versus today, repo is still close to 190, 200 basis points lower. So even if repo starts going up, interest rates start going up, there is a long way for repo to really go for it to reach to the pre-pandemic level. And historically, we've always seen that when rates are brought down very fast, but the rising rates is more staggered in nature. So, of course, interest rates are going to go up, but the impact is going to be very slow. And I don't think rates are going to go back to pre-pandemic level. That's point one. And which is why I think versus pre-pandemic, rates are still going to be slightly lower, which is going to help capex and consumption. Of course, the China plus one theme that all of us know is also playing out. And I think both of these two things put together would probably maintain or help companies maintain earnings at their level. But of course, like I said, in my opinion, 2023 earnings are already priced in. And for that, if there is any disappointment on the earnings, market may not take it very swiftly. So coming to equity with a 3-year, 5-year view, and probably what we've seen in terms of return happening over the last 20 months may not really repeat immediately in the near future, Sonia.
Okay, so that's on the equities front, but rising rates have an impact on the debt market as well. It has an impact on gold. So I want to discuss that on the other side of the break.